All right. Well, this is the Loop Podcast, episode two. I hope you enjoyed episode one with Phil Shomo. I think you're going to enjoy episode two here with my buddy Greg Dowdell, who is a member of the PGA of America. And we're going to talk about what the club professional does other than, say hello to you as you walk in and give lessons and things like that, because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see. And I think that this is interesting stuff. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Great.
Good, good. So, Greg and I, we go way back. I mean, God, what, grammar school maybe?
Yeah.
Back in Medway,
Yeah.
Mass. But Greg is 25-year member of PGA.
Yes.
Yeah, you told me something about you're a lifetime member, right?
Yep. You have to be a member of the PGA for 25 years to gain lifetime membership. And what that does for me is I don't have to do the continuing education credits, which I've been doing faithfully every year. I go down to Florida and have to go through education process to learn different things, how to teach tournament operations, the latest in golf, techniques, all that stuff.
Wow, yeah. And how long does that process take every year? Like how long is it to get you continuing ed?
Well, there's a PGA show in Orlando, Florida, where everybody meets. If I'm telling you, if you're a golfer or interested in golf, this is the ultimate show to go to. Not only is there equipment and clothing, we do our education courses as well. Oftentimes, by touring professionals will come in and tell their stories, and it's good. You get to meet and greet other professionals, which generally we live on an island when we're at our golf course.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Do you know this pro? Do you know this pro?" Because you're a pro, you think you know everybody, and you don't. So this is a chance for everybody to get together, get your education credits, and remain an active PGA member.
So now that you're a lifetime member, you don't have to worry about the continuing ed. Will you still go to the show?
Yes,
Yeah,
too
that's
much
good.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah. So what is that? Like February? When do they do that?
that's January, third week of January every year.
Down in Orlando? Is that where they have it?
Yeah, Orlando.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys golf when you're down there? Any
Oh,
golf?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's how long does it last?
It's a week long. It's a week long thing, but I mean, you get certain days off. We played some real beautiful places down there. Uh, we always try to play the best. PGA members, I don't know if everyone knows this. When you're in the work world, you get dental benefits and medical benefits and that sort of thing. And PGA pros, we get to play golf for free. Just generally speaking. So if the greens fees are $350, they might get us for 60 or $80 for a cart fee or something like that.
So if you could get a tea time at Sawgrass, then that would be free.
Yes,
Wow.
if they would reciprocate with the PGA of America. And the same thing is true with Maplegate. If a PGA pro calls us, we take care of them at Maplegate.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would probably give up their benefits to have that benefit. You know, I, I I think about it for sure. Um, so how long ago did you get into? When did you decide that you wanted to become a member of the PGA of America?
So that's it's an interesting thing that happened to me. Growing up in Medway, my parents built a house near Glen Ellen Country Club, and as a kid, I don't know, 8 years old, 9 years old, we were pool members. Do you remember Glen Ellen Road?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
That's
So I mean, I was literally a bike ride away from the course. So when we were pool members, there was this area outside of the pool that was flat grass. I didn't even know what it was. And my grandmother gave me a putter and a ball. And while we were hanging out at the pool, and there was the adult swim. I don't know if you remember that.
I
For
don't remember that, but
10
okay.
minutes for 10 minutes an hour, the adults got the pool for themselves, and the kids got kicked out.
That's
And
interesting.
I would go over to the putting green.
That might be a
And
podcast on its own, the Adult Swim.
yeah. And so I'll never forget the putter being just as tall as I was, and hitting it, and the ball rolling slowly across the green right at the hole. losing speed and diving right into the hole. And that was like such a thrill for me. Dropped the club, ran back to the pool, tell the parents. They could care less. They all drank around the pool and smoked butts and you burn their skin,
Yeah,
back in
back
the
then,
day.
yeah.
And I was terribly excited. And I can remember my father, who didn't play golf at the time, look at my mother and say, "We got to get this kid lessons."
Oh, that's
So,
great.
it's probably a couple weeks later. We were out on the course playing with the pro there, Mike Vendetti. I'll never forget him. And we took lessons, and my mother ended up getting me a junior membership and played golf all through high school, won a state championship in golf.
In Midway?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, we won.
Fipsy, the coach?
Yes, Phipps, he was the coach, 1982 or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so we were such a tight knit group. The golf team. I played basketball.
I remember.
You played basketball.
I
I
remember.
played baseball. You played baseball. And I would come from the golf course to the baseball field.
Yeah, back when they let you do that.
Yes, and I would ride my bike all over town, and so I just continued with golf, and I enjoyed it, and I loved the competitiveness of it. I loved the fact that in golf, I had to play where my ball ended up. It was up to me. Nobody else hit it. Nobody did anything. Basketball, I love basketball. I love to shoot, but nothing drove me more crazy than when I'd go down the court, make a good move, hand the ball off to one of the big men, and it goes off their hands and out of bounds.
Yeah.
So it drove me crazy, so, or I'd go out and score 18 points and we'd lose by 28. I just didn't, it wasn't a good feeling for me. I like to be in control. I like the control of golf. So I end up going to UMass Amherst, got
Yeah.
an engineering degree, didn't play golf for 4, 5, 6 years, wanted to quit engineering. And my father kept on telling me, "You're not quitting college. You're going to get your engineering degree, blah, blah, blah." So end up graduating 1989. And I'll never forget at the ceremonious keg party at my house afterwards, my father saying, "Hey, okay, congratulations. Now you can do whatever you want with your life." And
Wow.
I said, "Dad, I think I want to be a golf pro." And he said, "You're going to be a good golf pro."
That's
And
great.
I was both excited and mad because he tortured me for the years, telling me that I could not drop out of college, that this is what I was going to do, is to be an engineer.
Yeah, but
And I didn't want to live my life being an engineer and wondering what it would have been like to be a golf pro.
yeah, no, that makes sense. But what if you look at it a different way, you kind of got to give him credit because what he said was whatever you do, whatever you start, you need to finish.
Yes. Oh,
So I mean,
absolutely. Oh,
that's important.
I don't regret my engineering degree. I just never used it. And now at this point in my life, I wish I was an engineer. At this
Yeah.
point in my life, no retirement fund, nothing. I wish I did some engineering for a little while, but whatever. But that's behind me. And the process to become a PGA pro was similar to being getting a degree as well. The process. First of all, the very first thing you have to do to become a member of the PGA is you have to pass a player ability test. Okay. And a player ability test means that you have to go out and play 36 holes in one day, consecutively 36 holes, and you have to shoot 15 over the course rating. Okay. So if Maplegate is a par 72, the course rating might be 70. So
Okay.
70 and 70 is 140 plus 15 is 155. So I would have to shoot, 76, 77 in order to pass the player ability test.
Yeah.
And not many people get past that point. It's the very first thing that you have to do because the PGA wants good golfers. They want for people to respect the PGA pros game. So on the day that I did it, I went down to Quashnet Valley down the Cape. And I remember there were 88 of us that day, and I was the only one to get through.
Wow.
I was the only one to get through. I was coming down like the 17th, 18th hole, and I had a couple strokes to play with. And sure enough, I double bogeyed the last hole and beat it by one.
Wow. So
Yeah.
did did you do any prep for that, or were you playing there? Were you practicing there at all, or you just
No, and
sight unseen?
I never even saw Quashnet before either.
Wow,
So,
that's
but I was
impressive.
playing Maplegate from the gold tees, which was a tough test of golf. So when they put us on the white tees at Quashnet, it looked easy.
Well, I
So,
mean, yeah, but you're dealing with different distances, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah, so I mean that's tough. Like, if you're used to coming in, at the gold tees, you're playing back, your
yeah,
distance is whatever.
yeah,
Now all of a sudden, instead of that
yeah,
8 iron, you're hitting that gap wedge. It's
yes.
different. It's
Oh,
different.
yes. So I actually got some great advice from a former pro at Maplegate when I was leaving for the tournament. He said just hit it to the 150 marker.
Oh,
He said no matter what hole, how far it is to that one, if it could be a 7 iron to get to that 150 marker, just get it to the 150 marker, and that's all I did all day long. Yeah, I might have had to hit driver a couple times to get to that 150 marker, but that was the way to do it and keep it in play. So I appreciated that advice. So then after you pass the player ability, there's a series of education courses that you have to go through. So I had to travel back then. We had to travel all over the country. So Columbus, Ohio, we had to go to Florida. I think we were in Texas at one time. And you spend the week uh, in education classes, golf course maintenance, interpersonal skills, all kinds of business courses and that sort of thing. And you went home and you had to complete all your books to earn credits to get into to become a member of the PGA. And let me tell you, there was some sound messages that the PGA gave us. For example, like I said, we were PGA pros. We were all had something in common. We'd go out the night before. We were in Columbus, Ohio. I remember Ohio State country, and we ripped it up. And even our instructors, the guys that were already members, were there. And the next morning, we were in the hotel and we were all waking each other up. We were waking each other up, and this one kid didn't get up. He didn't get up, and we were all there on time for the class. Doors closed. All of a sudden, we heard him pulling on the door, and one of the PGA guys talked to him for a second, kicked him out. He was a minute late. He was a
wow.
minute late for his education courses, and he was upset. And so it taught us. It taught us a lot. It taught us some discipline. I like the PGA of America, what they taught. It's not an easy thing to get in there, and it should be respected, the PGA of America.
So once you get by the playing part of it, how long is the educational part of it? How long does that take?
You can go as fast as you want, but it took me 4 years
Wow.
to end up getting elected as a member of the PGA.
But in the
Yeah,
meantime, can you be an assistant at a club?
you must. Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
have to. You have to
Is
earn.
is it like a number of hours required as well for that?
Yes, you get 1 credit per month of work, and I think that you have to get 54. So it takes a number of years to get all those.
Wow, so it's a
Oh,
really long road.
yes, yes, but worth it. For me, I was at the golf course every day.
Yeah, no, I mean if you love being at the golf course, you love golf, then it's,
Yeah, I mean that's the other reason why I got into it, and we're gonna get into it more about the future of golf courses, and even back then I recognized that outdoor recreation, just any outdoor recreation, was going to get harder and harder to get involved with as time went on, as the population grew, as houses were being built. Outdoor recreation was going to start to get more in demand.
yeah.
And that was my attitude back then. And now that we see golf courses closing, for example, Maplegate being converted into a solar farm, with it's getting prime real estate, golf courses are.
Yeah.
So yeah, so after I became a member of the PGA, I did the normal things, stood in the clubhouse and collected money and meet and greet and stuff. It was only in the last 15 years that I just became an instructor. I'm the director of instruction, don't need to be in the clubhouse. We organize, kids academies, ladies nights, ladies groups are so much fun. And we were successful up until, COVID, and then it exploded.
Yeah.
And then the COVID years, we were just we would do a golf academy, and the women, the moms would say, why don't you do one next week? And we'd be like, okay, if you're going to sign up, we'll do it. We never did more academies, week after week after week during COVID. We did golf academies, and we were lucky enough. My Maplegate golf schools, Maplegate gave us access to the golf course. So not only did the kids get instruction all morning long, they got to play on the course every afternoon.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
it was really appealing for the kids, and it was such a successful program.
But you went through, you started what, in the early 90s maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, you went through two explosions. So the early 90s back then, golf was looked at more of a, call it a rich guy's sport.
Hmm.
You didn't have the numbers you have now. And then Tiger Woods comes along,
Yeah.
boom. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that
Yeah.
that that was one thing. And then obviously you mentioned COVID, two explosions. You've seen quite the evolution of the game of golf in the
Yes.
last 30 years. I mean, it's been incredible.
Yes.
To where now, like, I don't know what percentages are. You might, but everybody plays golf. I feel like now, in one way or another.
One in
And
10.
1 in 10.
1 in 10 people play golf.
What now?
Yes.
Wow. So that's it's actually
Not
lower
ma-
than I thought.
that's not many. Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot lower than I thought. You know what it is though? I think probably the reason why I feel that way is golfers kind of hang together.
Yeah.
So people that
Yeah.
are non-golfers don't really hang out with people that are golfers because,
Right.
it takes a lot of time and money.
Correct.
So yeah, that's probably why I feel like I do. But the data, like the lessons, I'm sure you obviously you run the gamut between the very, the beginner, the high handicap guy,
Hmm.
down to the low handicap guy. What is do you have a consistent message or what's your approach there?
That's a great question there, Brian, because when I started out in the 90s, and I knew I was going to be an instructor, and I wanted to teach because I love the game. So I wanted to give the appreciation to somebody else. And so when I started teaching, I came in with a plan. I came in with, this is what I'm going to say. This is what this person's going to listen to. This is I had, step A, B, C, and this is what I was going to say. And it only took me a couple of years. And we also learned this in our education classes, is just that, the biggest thing you have to do is listen to somebody. Not
Right.
everybody's the same. No, as a matter of fact, you find out that everyone is different. Everyone has different habits. Everyone has a different background. So that's part of teaching the game. I came in with a plan, and then realized that it's not about the plan. You have to interview the person for the first 10 minutes. Then you can get a road that you're going to go down.
Yeah, that's a good approach. And do you see consistent things like with, between like a low handicapper versus, between like a guy, I'll say myself, I'm a 9-2, and a lot of
Yeah.
guys out there saying bullshit, but I am. I'm a 9-2.
Yeah.
It's all the scores are in there. But do you see consistencies from the guy like me versus the guy that's an 18 versus the guy that's a 4? Like, are there consistencies in there? Like,
Uh,
like
I
short
would
game, long game?
I would say no. I would
No.
say no. I mean, the first thing I try to do is try to get across that the game is about confidence.
Oh,
So I try to say that I'm going to show you the PGA method. I'm going to show you the method that the guys on TV are using. So you should be using this method, and if you stick to it, it's going to work for you. And there's, as far as high handicappers go, usually terrible short games. Low
yeah.
handicappers lack confidence. They think that they're 4 handicap, 5 handicap, and that they gotta get down to par. That they're so close that they're gonna get down to par, and they tinker with their swing, and they look at their swing, and they analyze the top of their swing. And when in reality, if you go out there with confidence and a decent set of skills, you can shoot par.
Yeah. So what I always think, yeah, I'm more of a math guy. Most of the shots taking by any level is on the green,
Yes.
but I don't think that people really concentrate on that as much.
Correct.
And
Uh, uh,
and
when I was trying to get good, I had aspirations of playing at a high level. I took like, I don't know, it was probably like 2 years where all I did was putt.
Oh wow.
All I did, the putting green was out in front of the clubhouse, and if I had a minute, I would go out onto that putting green and putt. That's all I did. I used to play a game called Worst Ball, and I'd have two balls on the putting green, and I would putt to a hole, and I would take the worst putt, and I would see if I could two putt all the way around the green. And that took me a year before I could go all the way around the green playing worst ball, putting, and go all the way around the green consistently.
How many
Yeah,
holes?
so
How many holes are on the green?
there was like eight.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great drill.
It really is. It gets you consistent. You hit one next to the hole, you got to hit the next one next to the hole. And then when you have a 3-footer, you got to make it twice for it to even count. To even be a two putt.
Do
Yeah.
you have any? I've talked to a number of pros. Some of them I got to get them on here, but do you have any crazy stories? Like I have some like I heard some crazy stuff. Like I'll give you an example. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but just the subject matter. Did you know that if you're on a golf course and you hit a ball and it hits somebody in another fairway, they can sue you and the golf course and the equipment, everything.
I don't know about that. I think
I
I
talked
think
to a
I think
pro.
we've gone through that before, where someone has gotten injured in a golf cart and they tried to sue the course. But the fact that you pay greens fees is like, saying that we can't be liable for anything.
You-
Once the transaction is done, we went through it. We used to have people sign separate pieces of papers for the golf carts, and then we went through it, and it's like just the transaction. We're not liable.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But no, do you know a pro named Lyman Doan? He's a pro
No.
over at West Bridgewater.
No.
He was telling me that they got sued, and the guy actually won about 380 grand.
Wow.
Yeah,
Something was up there then.
yeah,
I thought, hey, Roop, I thought you were going to ask me crazy stories about women.
well, sure. Why not?
That'll be another podcast.
Yeah, no, that'll be the one when we talk about the Adult Swim. But no, do you have any good stories if you can think of?
Oh, too many, too many. You know who Yogi Berra is?
Yeah.
I've forgotten more about golf than I know right now.
Okay.
That's too many off the top of my head. I'll next time.
Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
really. I kind of hit you with that one out of the blue.
yeah.
What about good stories in terms of you were teaching somebody that came in at 18 and now they're a 6 or something like that? Any good stories like that?
Oh yeah, I got a really good one about this kid, um, Jeff Garangelli, and he was going to go to Severian. Smart kid, and so he started taking lessons in eighth grade or so, and he could shoot mid 50s, and we worked on his game and he practiced, and in his freshman year he went out for the Severian team, which is a fantastic team. They always are really good. And he missed. In his freshman year, he missed, but he wanted it. He wanted to make that Severian golf team, and so practiced all summer long again. Sophomore year, missed by 4 or 5 strokes again. Junior year, again, we practiced arm all the time, all summer long. We practiced. It's junior year, missed by a stroke. Junior year,
Oh,
senior year, goes through it all over again, makes it by 1 stroke. I was
wow.
so proud of him, and I think it's a great story. I mean, his skills got better. He ended up shooting 40, 41, but the kid's desire is what really made that story for me. I always talk about him. He didn't want to let it go. After 3 times missing the team, he went for it the fourth time, and that's one story that I really like.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Um, do you see more youth playing now
Yes.
than, yeah,
Yes. But you know this too. Today's day and age, back in our day, we'd play football, basketball, baseball, golf. We'd play everything. It's just what we did.
right.
And nowadays, kids are coming out more focused. Basketball players play basketball, and that's
Yeah.
what they do. Football players play football, and now golfers play golf. And there's just a lot of kids out there who don't want to get dirty. You know what I mean? Who don't want to get hurt. There's a lot of parents who don't want them to get hurt. Another story is Medway High School. I coached Medway High School for 16 years. After FIPSI, I coached Medway High School, and that was a learning experience in itself. That was fun. We had the quarterback of the Medway High School team in his senior year play golf.
Wow.
He went from the football team to the quarterback of the football team in his junior year to play his senior year at golf, and he was
Now,
fantastic.
is golf still a spring sport or is it a fall sport?
It is in the fall. It is in the
Yeah, that's
fall.
what I thought. I
Yeah,
thought it switched because it used to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
spring.
Yeah, and Medway is still at Maplegate too. I mean, for the time being, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that grew. This is a whole nother podcast. Okay, I stopped. I got frustrated with the high school golf, not just Medway, every town in the league, and they cut down all the tournaments we used to have. We used to have the Tri Valley League tournament, and they canceled it. I mean, look at the names on here. The
Wow.
names, I mean, this is 30 years right here, and they canceled the league tournament, and I was very upset about that. And
Why?
then I
What was
still
the
stayed
reason?
with it for a few years, but the cheating
Oh,
was rampant. The cheating from not just Medway kids, the opposing teams, and it's not, oh, I didn't know the rule. It was, I took 8 strokes, but you're going to put me down for a 5
wow.
type stuff. Yeah, it was frustrating.
What was the reason they said they canceled the tournament?
Oh, they canceled anything that's All Star. Like even hockey, they canceled the All Star tournaments. The basketball, they canceled the All Star game. Yeah,
That's I I
you
don't
didn't know
even know
that?
where to go with that one. I don't even know where
You
to
you,
go
you,
with
don't-
that
you
one.
didn't know that? Yeah,
I did
they
not know that.
canceled. Yeah, every
Wow.
sport had to
Jeez.
cancel their. Yeah, I don't know, MIAA. I worked for the MIAA as well. I was a tournament director for 5 or 6 years with them.
Yeah, I mean that would be an exercise in patience, I would imagine.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
So, you mentioned it earlier, just kind of spin around a little bit. Where do you see golf going in the future? Or golf courses?
So I don't know if everyone is aware about the Maplegate situation. The owner who built the course, Lenny French, he passed away in 2018, I think, and he had kids, 3 kids, 2 daughters, and a son. And before he died, he told me that they were going to sell the course,
Oh, wow.
and he just had that feeling because he thought that they wanted the money more than to keep a business alive. So when he passed away, um, we heard rumblings that the course was being sold, but the Toll Brothers, which developed Glen Ellen, came in there and they did their due diligence about condos and housing, and we have a situation where 90% of the land is in Franklin, and there's like 10% in Bellingham. So, in order to get the infrastructure into the golf course, they'd have to go through Bellingham, and Bellingham wanted nothing to do with it. The water, sewer, all that stuff. So and it was on the other side of Route 495. So in order to get all that stuff into the course for housing, they would have to come across 495, which is impossible. So they realized that wasn't going to work. Housing wasn't going to work, and they offered 12 million. They offered $12 million for it. The course itself is worth about $5 or $6 million as a golf course. And so then a company came along, a solar company, and offered 22 million.
Wow.
So they're in a situation where I have no hard feelings. People can do whatever they want with their land, but they got an offer they can't refuse for solar. And this location is perfect for solar. It's faces the sun. It's right next to transmission lines. Medway's built a new lithium plant where the power can be stored. But beyond that, the future of golf is being taken over by data centers. Okay, and
Really?
what are these data centers? It's AI.
Yep.
AI needs huge amounts of electricity. So before the data center gets built, there needs to be power. So the cheapest way still is solar and wind and that sort of thing, the cheapest way to produce it. The political climate has changed in a way where we probably won't see too many solar farms being built. However, you're going to see a lot more data centers.
Is that because a lot of these solar farms are owned by China?
No, they're not owned by China. The
No.
panels are made in China. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
so as the process was going, we had to go through the town meetings. I stood up in front of the town and said, you can't get rid of golf and blah blah blah. And so as we were going along, and we were hearing about the tariff rumor and on steel and solar panels, we thought, oh my God, this is not going to be a cost-effective thing for these people to develop the course. So this was probably 3 years ago, and so it kept on going, kept on churning. They got their permits, and then I was listening to something, people talking about, when Trump was trying to get rid of green energy and wind, the people were saying that the people that are developing solar farms don't care how much the panels cost. They don't care that they're paying extra for steel. They don't care that they're paying more for the land and blah, blah, blah. They're just going to turn around and charge the consumer more
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like this like I said earlier, that I knew recreation was going to be was going to disappear as the future was going on, and that's why I got into it. And it's exactly what's happening to Maplegate right now.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I mean, obviously it makes sense, big business, money.
Yeah,
But I feel like, COVID was a boom for golf. I mean, a
yeah,
lot of that's probably gone back because a lot of people gone back in the office. Um, but I do feel like it's more stable now. I think your golfers are your golfers. And
yes,
I think that, in addition to the kid that plays golf and wants to be competitive in golf, I
yeah,
think that the kid that graduates college and enters the business world also wants to be a golfer because that's where a lot of things happen.
for sure.
So I think that, we're kind of going to reach its, stable point where
Yeah,
you're going to get what you're going to get. And obviously, golf is a premium. So,
yeah,
people are going to be able to pay a little bit more for that. And I don't know. I still think it's got a good future. I think the PGA Tour is very popular now.
mm-hmm.
The Live Tour not as much, but the PGA Tour is definitely growing with Scotty Scheffler and that stuff. Obviously, YouTube golf is
Yeah,
turning into some kind of just
yeah. Have you seen the
extravaganza.
TGL? Have you seen the TGL?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it. No, because I don't know. I just don't. I like inside golf to keep the swing going during the winter,
Yeah,
but it's very. I mean, obviously the TGL is different because they have that crazy setup in there, but
yeah,
it's just different. I mean, I like to watch a ball fly,
yeah,
through the air and,
yeah,
be able to have a depth perception of 150 yards, 150 yards.
yeah,
To tee it up and whack it into a screen, I don't care how great the technology is. It's just not the same to me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I I don't enjoy it as much. And maybe some people do because you got the names out there doing it,
yeah,
but I'm not really a fan.
yeah. I like it.
You do.
Yes, and I like it for the reason that when they drive, okay, when they hit the ball into the screen, it only takes them 6 seconds to go to the next shot. As
Right.
opposed to when you're watching it on TV, they hit the 400-yard drive. They got to walk. We got to wait for them to walk 400 yards for them to get to the ball. So I like it. I like the indoor golf. I think it's a thing of the future. It's based on space. Based on it's a
Yeah.
lot less space, and you can still play golf. I think it's going to do well. I
No,
do.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the league doing well. I think it's going to find its audience.
Yeah.
Um, and again, just because of the names, like I said. But for me, if you're watching a tournament, especially like a major tournament, it's a close on Sunday. You're watching a close match, and the guy hits that long drive. Well, for me, the interesting thing is what's going on in that guy's head between when he hit it and when he
Yeah.
gets it. and there's a
Yeah.
lot going on in his head. And how does he
Yeah.
react to that? To
Yeah.
me, watching the golf on television with the greatest players in the world, the most fascinating thing to me is how they deal with the pressure, who steps up, who doesn't step up,
Yeah.
and so the whole process to me, and plus the fact they're usually playing on a beautiful piece of land somewhere in the world,
Right.
which is fun to watch as well.
Right.
So to me, I think that long walk, I mean, yeah, from a time perspective, sure. And, everyone's in a hurry nowadays. That makes a lot of sense. But
Hmm.
I just think, I'll call myself maybe a purist of the game. I
Hmm.
like to watch the mental side and what happens between the shots. And,
Oh, the mental
and
side is
now
huge.
nowadays
Huge.
you can hear what the caddy's talking to him about and stuff. So all
Yeah.
that stuff is pretty cool. So I really, I
I love I love the mental side. I love the mental side of the game.
yeah, I mean, just
90
to watch it on TV.
percent mental. That's 90% mental. That was most of my lessons is talking to people about the mental side of the game, and having faith in their method, and that sort of thing. And Roop, going back to golf and whether it seems like it's going to get more popular or not. Remember that golf courses are closing, so this 30,000 rounds of Glen Ellen that had to come up to Maplegate or other courses in the area. So all the other courses felt a lot busier.
Right.
And with Maplegate closing, and others, possibly down Cape Cod Country Club, whatever. I really think that when you go to make a tee time and you go to a course, you're going to say, wow, this place is busy. But it's just people from other courses having to be concentrated.
Yeah, not only that, but economies of scale, they can put the price up a bit too because it's,
Absolutely.
not as available as it was before.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to be a problem. Golf is not going to be cost effective.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Leland and Bob Doyle,
Yeah.
they're down in South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Um, they have a great setup down there. They have this thing called the trail card, and
Hmm.
so the people that are around the area join this membership, and what that does is it gives them, access to courses, but
Yeah.
also at a reduced rate.
Yeah.
And to me, I would love to see more of that. I don't know if they have that in Massachusetts, but I would love to see something like that, especially on the South Shore where I live, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of golf courses around here, and
Yeah.
they're expensive, but it's tough. It's tough to get tee times and stuff because, like you said, the availability
Yeah.
is not there. But I would like to see something like that because I think that would not only grow the game but keep it affordable. The thing,
Yeah.
the big difference down there is they're playing, almost 12 months a year, where
Yeah.
although lately it's probably been about six, maybe seven. Although
Yeah.
that first month of the year and those last month and a half
Yeah.
are kind of miserable, but we're
Yeah.
still
Yeah. Yeah.
stretching that season out as long as we can. On Cape Cod, it's again, but it's not,
Yeah.
40-mile-an-hour wind and 40-degree
Yeah.
weather with a
Right.
little bit of moist
I
air.
played
It's
yesterday. I
not
played
fun.
yesterday.
Where'd you play?
Maplegate.
Oh, the snow's gone. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
down in Plymouth. No, it's not.
Yeah. We had shovels.
You were open?
Yeah. No, no. It was just four of us. We shut the gate and went out there. We had
Was
shovels and we had a drill to get the tee into the ground. Yeah.
were the greens frozen?
Oh yeah. Bounced like a parking lot. It took a few holes before you realized just to run it up.
Yeah, right.
And no pins either. So we didn't even know where the holes were.
Hey, well, listen, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
You touched on the Maplegate thing. We'll talk more about that as the transaction gets finalized.
Yeah.
We're talking about a bunch of other stuff, and I'd love to have you on again. And
Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Roop. I appreciate it. I love talking golf. I could talk golf all day.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm pretty fond of it myself, which is why
Yeah.
I started this whole thing to begin with. So,
What about you? Wait a minute. When did you start? You didn't play in high school.
no, I didn't. I was a late joiner. I was a late,
Yeah.
probably, when I was, we used to mess around. Actually, when I first started, I'm a lefty.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. You couldn't find lefty clubs back then, right?
Right.
So I started playing right-handed. Obviously, I was terrible.
Yeah.
But I would say mid-20s is when I really started playing.
Nice.
And I really, you just fall in love with the game.
Right.
It's because it's the ultimate challenge to yourself,
Yes.
like getting better. There's no better feeling than hitting the ball the right way.
Yeah.
And getting better, it just becomes a drug.
Yeah.
You just want to see like I think I can do that. Or you show a flash of it. You'll have three holes where
Yeah.
you're one under on those three holes. You're like,
Yeah.
dang, maybe I got something here.
Yeah.
And then you don't, and which frustrates the hell out of you. But they say that one shot keeps you back coming back. But
Yeah.
I just I just love it. I just love every
Yeah.
part. I love playing it. I love watching it.
Yeah.
I love talking about it.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
called it's called your competitive spirit. We all have a competitive spirit, and we
yeah,
can't play hoop anymore.
no,
You
and
know
that's
what
the
I mean?
thing. Yeah, I mean, you could still go out there, and we play every Sunday.
Yeah.
We should have you come down if you're available.
Yeah.
We play every Sunday with Medway guys, guys that you graduated with.
Yeah.
We have a little competition. There's a lot of shit talking,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the usual stuff, and just a bunch of morons out there
Yeah.
slapping the ball around. But
So much fun.
it's there's nothing better, there's
Yeah.
nothing better.
I agree.
All right, my man, we got to get out and play some golf. We will definitely keep in touch. I
Yes.
appreciate you coming on there, and this was a lot of fun.
All right. Thanks, Rube.